You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to remind you guys that you're listening to us in a couple different ways. So we're through our partnership on lastwordonsports.com. You can find them on lastsports.com radio. They have different podcasts on football and soccer and anything else, everything else in between. You can also find us on the W2M network, that is Wrestling to the Max. You can follow Wrestling to the Max on Facebook. And also you can email us directly and contact us directly at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com, as well as on Twitter. We're Running Wild LWOS. I believe that's our call signs. All right, so wow.
We'll touch on the most important thing first, and that is the premiere or the return of Fuller House, right? That's what we were gonna talk about first.
I mean, somebody should write in if you guys want us to do a Fuller House thing.
No.
I haven't watched. It is currently Friday, so we're actually taping a little later than normal. We're coming to you not live. Well, we're taping live, but we're from Mr. Laconi's classroom. It's very interesting, just because we wanted to make sure we got you guys got content every Saturday. You know, you wake up, we know you guys want to listen to us, so we made sure. We have a lot going on this weekend. But what do you want to start with, other than Fuller House?
Clearly, Shane McMahon showing up was pretty out of nowhere. You know, I was watching Raw and I was doing something else, and I was kind of just half listening to Vince and Stephanie, all right, blah blah blah, here we go, okay. And then I heard the music, and I stopped what I was doing, in just mid. I just stopped, and I sat there for a second, and I was like, "What? Wait, what?" And then he came out, and I was like, "Ha! Wow!" I didn't move. I just sat there.
The music started, and I, Stat Wife was sitting there watching it because it was the beginning, so she's still awake for the show. And
you're still awake for the show.
There's no need for that. There's no need for that. We can only insult people who are not on the show and can't fight back for themselves. And, I'm telling you, I mean, if the song was on for half a second, and I was like, Shane fucking McMahon? And she was like, who? She's like, better question. She goes, how did you know that quickly? I'm like, you know the songs, you just know them. I was like, I don't care if it's been 8 years. I heard it, and I was like, oh my God, Shane McMahon. And then she's like, why is he dancing like an idiot? Which I was like, well, that's his thing. I felt like he went back across the stage one too many times. It was
he needed to. And then it was awesome. He got in the ring, and you could tell that was just a real moment where he was just like, wow. Really? This is kind of crazy. You could see it, by the way he was reacting and everything. It was just wow.
What did you...
Well, I would like to hear your thoughts on the upcoming match, because then I will share mine and probably obliterate what you are thinking.
Well, how about the fucking beating?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I saw him say something, and I saw him, I saw that it was bleeped out. I heard it was bleeped out, whatever, and I was just like, huh. And then, you heard the whole crowd go, oh, but I didn't know exactly what he said until afterwards, which was pretty awesome in itself.
Yeah, no, I was pretty excited. I mean, a lot of people are writing, or I've been reading a lot on the internet this week about how people are saying that it might be an edgier I don't know. I think maybe Vince just legitimately maybe was thinking about times that he got into it with Shane and just let the F word slip. I don't. I mean,
It was just like he
couldn't it?
just
You can't.
needed it to sell the moment, you know. Like
Yeah,
he
I don't
was
think it's
just
anything.
shocked. He was angry. He was just like, oh, like you know.
So what do I think about the match? And then how you're gonna blow? All right. So all right, and not because you said anything. I'm not initially. I'm excited that Shane McMahon's back. I'm excited that we have something. I mean, a Hell in a Cell. He's a spot monkey, even though he's 46 and Undertaker's older now. I still think like something crazy might happen. There's a part of me that's a little unconvinced that something's not going to change. I'm very confused about Vince being able to order the Undertaker around, like, you know, and that's a Taker. You got to do this for us. Like, I mean, it's not. If I would understand if the company was legitimately on the line, then I could see Undertaker like, okay, I got to do this for the company. But what motivation does he have to kick Shane McMahon's ass because Vince told him to?
Yeah, and we'll see. You know, that's where I was going to go with this. But like, even if it was on the line or whatever, Vince is a heel. The Undertaker is not a heel. So why would the Undertaker align himself with the Authority? Like I can very easily see the Undertaker coming back and saying, like, you don't tell me what to do. Like, you know, oh, you want me in the match? Sure, I'll be in the match, but I'm going to wrestle for Shane, and I'm going to win him, you know, Monday Night Raw. And now
What?
Vince has to find someone else, and he gets someone else, and you know, we go from there.
What? But hold on. Shane posted videos of him training this week with
I know,
someone.
and that's what's like. Maybe that's not. Maybe he will have a match, which I don't care either. But you know, him versus the Undertaker seems a little out there. Like not that I mind it. I'm excited for it. I would like to see it, but I don't necessarily expect it to be that.
I'm yeah, I'm just so happy to have Shane back. I mean, by the way, who do you think tweeted Monday night after Shane came out that made me personally pop like a crazy person? Like, I was just super excited to see that this person was alive and tweeting about Shane.
Virgil,
Nope. It's one of his boys.
$1 Million Man. I don't
My
know.
boy Pete Gas
Oh,
for the
nice.
Mean Street Posse. I was like super excited. I really hope the Mean Street Posse somehow makes an appearance again. Pete Gas is my favorite of the Mean Street Posse. I don't. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think this week's Raw is going to tell us a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. And my whole thing is like, how does Shane legitimately beat The Undertaker? Because I don't think Shane's losing. You know, like, he's going to get control of Raw. Vince and Stephanie, Triple H are going to get control of SmackDown. And we're going to have a brand split, which, beautiful. You know, that will be awesome because I'm so hyped to see a draft. And, you know, because if Vince goes to SmackDown, he's not just going to go to SmackDown. There's got to be guys he takes with him, you know. So that would be cool, and you know, we'll get some good stuff out of it.
What do you think? Well, I mean, this is so far ahead because I mean, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I feel like they just united the titles. Not just, but you know,
But
like
you could still have the one world title, like that doesn't matter.
didn't-
You could have the IC and the US, you know, on each show.
so what was it that Brock Lesnar? But didn't like was it Brock Lesnar signed an exclusivity deal with Stephanie back in the day when they had the brand split, and that's why SmackDown had the title, and then Bischoff had to make the world title because Lesnar wouldn't
Maybe,
wrestle on Raw or something.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Where's Stat Wife? She's not at school. Yeah, I don't know. So I'd be excited for the brand split as long as it goes a little further.
Yeah, I definitely think it will.
You know, more
You know,
trades and
yeah, like it'll definitely be something cool. People
random
be training them,
signings.
yeah, trying to one up each other, and then you have an excuse like, "Oh, all right, now I have control of Raw. Now I'm gonna bring up Finn Balor, and all right, fine, I'll bring up Samoa." Like, you know, you can use NXT as a breeding ground for both, and people competing, going to both shows, seeing what they like. You know, you can get some good stuff out of it.
I just hope they don't go with the splitting tag teams nonsense up and everything.
Yeah.
That always annoyed me.
I'm sure one or two will fall by the wayside, but maybe not ones that, you know, need to stay together.
Like when the Dudley boys were split up, it was just like that's taking the wuss way out of really having them split. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And then what was the trade? What was the most epic trade ever? Was it?
It was like Triple H for like Booker T, the Dudley Boys, and like someone else.
Just like
Triple H is not wrestling on SmackDown, so get him back to Raw. All right, we'll give you a package of guys.
Worst trade, worst history. All right.
But I mean, one other thing that I was maybe more excited about on Raw was the match that I was calling for, or whatever. One of them we finally got, and Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar was made official for WrestleMania, which I cannot wait.
I mean, as a tiny person, myself, I'm excited. I'm very excited to see the match. I'm interested to see, you know, how the match is going to play out. But I also don't understand how this could be more than 8 minutes of just straight murder from what we've seen so far.
Because Dean Ambrose is going to fight back. Dean Ambrose is going to win this match. No question about it. You make a monster babyface at WrestleMania. You give him a huge rub. He gets the rub of beating The Undertaker almost, you know. This is Dean Ambrose is winning this match.
I think he just loses like in a stone cold fashion. Like badass.
Maybe.
You know,
that could happen too. But I really think he's winning.
You can't, because then
Brock doesn't need a win. Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but it's not that he needs a win. I just legitimately don't understand how. I mean, I know it's set
Dean
up.
Ambrose is crazy. Like, it doesn't matter.
I guess
he doesn't have to. He's not that much smaller than him.
Cena used the chain, right?
And it's a street fight. It's a street fight. So he can do anything. He can use anything.
I wonder when it's going to take place also, like how early in the card.
This is going to be good, man. Like, whenever, wherever, whoever, it doesn't matter. Like, this is going to be great. It's WrestleMania. They're both going to kill it, and Ambrose is going to put on one hell of a show.
Yeah, I'm just hesitant. Like, I just it's not because obviously, I mean, I know that if they want to make Ambrose win, they can make Ambrose win. But just if I'm going to buy into the person that they've made Brock Lesnar, this has to be something crazy. Like, I have to see something crazy for me to believe that Lesnar should have lost.
Sure, but I mean, what we've seen from Dean Ambrose doesn't necessarily lead me to believe that it'll be easy.
He seems resilient, but not necessarily able to overcome. That's the only thing that I don't.
He's resilient and insane. Like, after Brock Lesnar legitimately stepped on his face on Raw and then F5'd him, he was smiling. Like, he is that type of lunatic that I don't...
Lives on the fringe.
I will buy him versus anybody because I believe that he is crazy enough to find a way to win. Or you know what I mean? Like, he'll come up with something because I just buy that character.
Okay.
Like, you know, like, I don't know. I believe when they were facing off at Fast Lane, and I believe that was realistic. When Rollins and him were going at it, I believe that there's certain ways around the size differential. You know, like, Rollins is a cowardly weasel, so that gets around Brock's strength, and Ambrose is nuts, so that counteracts some of his strength. And, you know, that kind of stuff makes for good matches, good storytelling.
But how did Rollins... I'm trying to remember. When Rollins faced off against Brock, the Undertaker came out, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like... You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like something... I guess the weapons is the out.
Yeah,
I guess the Undertaker is the out.
The result is really, like, irrelevant for Brock because he's going to be Brock, so it doesn't matter. And he can get busted open or put through tables or something crazy can happen, you know?
All right. All right. I mean, as we get closer, it'll be interesting to see the build. Part of me is like, if it's an ODQ match, which makes it acceptable for Ambrose to come out on top. Like, I don't understand why Brock doesn't just go out there like 3 Germans and then just grab like a chair and just beat the crap.
Just kill him. I'm sure he will.
Like, the weapon.
But Ambrose will keep kicking out.
Well, it should be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I'm just
100%.
I want Ambrose, and this is the crazy thing. I want Ambrose to win, but it's almost like they've done such a great job of making me believe this monster of Lesnar that it just...
Yes, clearly, because all you've been arguing is he's a monster.
Well, he shouldn't even be Yeah, he shouldn't... I don't know.
That's all about wrestling, man.
Speaking of failed Royal Rumble predictions, what is happening with the Wyatts?
What a waste, because you could have had Ambrose eliminate Brock, you
you
could have done something better for Ambrose and Brock in that situation, and you wasted it because you thought you were going another direction.
Is that what you think they just switched? Because
they realized, like, oh shit, Ambrose is over like crazy. This is pretty awesome watching this, just like I did, because I was loving it, and I very adamantly said, like, that's what I want to see. Please give me this. I wanted to see that match because they've done a great job of building up the heat between them.
Yeah, what if the Wyatts just actually like become the Wyatts? Like, just start walking around and just like legitimately like backstage, just taking people out so that they could just get their shot.
Somehow, I don't believe that would work out.
I think it's the only thing that could work out for them. What else is going to work?
Whenever you do that, and then you're fired. But either way.
Take the title. It's going to just like literally come out during the main event, beat everyone up, take the title, and be like, F you, WWE, and just walk off.
Somehow I don't believe that would ever happen.
I don't know. Isn't it CM Punk one time? He left with the title.
Anyway, yes, so I really don't know. Like, they're just done. Like, now what do they do? Are there any other baby faces? Like, Ryback just turned. I don't know who's left.
Ryback a full turn?
Yes.
I didn't feel like it was.
He walked out on his teammates and then said that I won the match last night. I don't need anyone's help. I'm tired of being in tag teams. He's got black underwear instead of colorful.
Once he said I don't want to be in tag team, you know what it was? I think I just, instead of buying his heel turn. You
watch Raw when you're sleeping?
Well, that, but also, no, I think I was actually awake for that. When he did that, I was like, oh, no, you know what? I mean, you're right, Ryback. Like, for you to succeed, like, you can't be in these tag matches. And I think that's why I was just like, I think I'm just so sick of watching all these, 6-man and 8-man tags. I think sometimes WWE falls into this, like, rut of just 6-man tags all the time. Like an 8-man tag used to be a big deal. And I just feel like they just throw it around all the time. Like, that's called Survivor Series, goddammit. I mean, obviously it's an elimination, but it's just...
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the brand split will kind of lead to more... I wouldn't have minded seeing more tag team matches, but I'm just kind of sick of having, like, all 4 guys all the time. I don't know what's going to happen with the Wyatts. I mean... I don't know what's happening with the League of... That kind of ties into what's happening with the League of Nations. Is New Day going face? Are the League of Nations don't seem like they're going face? I mean, like, if you had...
that segment on the pay-per-view was extremely weird. It really didn't make any sense. There was no point to it. So, I don't know what happened there. New Day was the cowardly heels, and then they were celebrating with the faces after. I don't know. It makes no sense. But
quick question: what, 5 TV shows that are worse than Edge and Christian. Quick, go.
I don't know. That's too easy.
No, I said that are worse.
Yeah, I know. There's too many. Well, I mean, not that there's. Never mind. See, now I forgot what I was going to say. Thanks.
I'm sorry, the hype, just the crazy hype for the Edge and Christian show. That whole segment, and you were talking about the League of Nations and New Day celebrating with Edge and Christian at the end, and how that was a weird segment. Was that only to promote the show?
Yeah, 100%.
But how many people are watching WWE pay-per-views at this point that aren't just already on the network?
Nah, probably a lot. Because there are a lot of kids who have it, but like don't really use it, you know. But yeah. So speaking of New Day, who I believe they will face at WrestleMania, formed on Monday, and with Y2AJ.
Wait, you think?
You don't think New Day faces them at WrestleMania? Like
for the tag titles?
Yeah. Like what does Y2AJ do? Like why would they make them a tag team right before WrestleMania if they didn't plan on having them face their heel tag team? Because who else do they have to face their heel tag team? Bye bye Usos. Looks like somebody owes me some money.
No. I think it's still TLC. That's where the money is. Mania, TLC, Dudley's, Usos, New Day. Why are you gonna have Y2AJ? By the way, I hate saying that.
And who does Y2AJ face?
Triple threat with Owens in the IC title match.
But they're a tag team.
They're not really a tag team.
They have a name.
So did Air Boom. I mean, I don't know.
They're were also really a tag team.
No, they're not. Are they? I'm very discombobulated right now. Are you really saying that you feel that they're going to wrestle as a tag team at Mania?
They're going to win the tag team titles at WrestleMania.
But Jericho doesn't even stay. You're going to have them take the titles off New Day after New Day's carrying it for this long. For what? For what purpose? Why is Jericho...
They're better than Enzo and Cass.
Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. And they're retired isn't even a match?
Oh my god. This is Cass and Enzo.
Whoa, because they're two individuals from
so
New York.
Y2J and Jericho and AJ. Who have a mutual respect for each other after their matches.
I'll be so... I literally... And I'm not just trying to like rabble rouse or just say ridiculous stuff.
Answer my question of why else they would make them a tag team 3 weeks before WrestleMania if they weren't going to have them be a tag team at WrestleMania. They already fought 3 times, so they're not going to break up next week.
Could they just be part of the Andre the Giant thing and maybe like they've been tagging this long and then they have... So
you're going to have Chris Jericho and your brand new, hopefully big star AJ Styles in a useless pay-per-view match at WrestleMania. No chance. They are going to win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. I don't understand why you don't see it this way.
I firmly disagree. Well, I guess as we get closer, we'll be able to look back at this episode. But I do not believe that there's any reason why those two should actually take the titles off of New Day.
Okay.
They're not... You're trying to develop the tag team division. You're going to have a 37-year-old, and how old is Jericho?
The age of the performers means absolutely nothing because they're in a tag team. So it's irrelevant how old they are. The Dudleys are there helping too.
The Dudleys shouldn't have the title.
It's a way to keep them on TV. It's a way to have them get over in good matches. It's a way to not have them have not have to make them have singles matches at WrestleMania because they don't have spots for it. It's a perfect fix. New Day had no opponents. Oh, and now here are 2 super over baby faces who are great in the ring.
You brought in AJ Styles, who's a prolific singles competitor, and you're putting him in a tag team with Jericho, a part-timer who's
He's been there every week for the past 3 months.
It's still part-time. I mean, he's still going to be gone soon. You know that he's not going to be there in a year.
Maybe he will be. Okay, maybe, but they don't need to be tag team champions for a year.
I think it'll sully the good name of the tag team championships.
Yeah, the good name of the tag team titles. New Day doesn't even defend them.
They don't have to defend them all the time. They're the champions. They choose when they have to defend them.
30 days. Don't they get stripped?
I've been trying to look up the new. There's no. I can't find any update to that rule.
Correct.
But they're probably
So-
defending them on house shows, and we just don't even see it. That's the problem.
Maybe.
I really do hope you're wrong. I just don't want AJ and Jericho.
It makes sense. Like,
But we
it makes
have enough
sense in
tag
this-
teams. You have the
No,
American.
they
You have people in
don't.
NXT to bring them up.
They don't. They have 3 tag teams in the NXT, and they need them on NXT.
I don't know.
They have no tag teams. So
They have the
okay,
Ascension.
so you want to make them a tag team for a feud with New Day for WrestleMania? Perfect, no problem. No one's saying that they have to be a tag team for 4 years. No one's saying anything that crazy about it. I guarantee their gear will start to match because they're both better than that. And it's just something where, oh, okay, we had AJ come in and feud with Jericho. Oh, damn, we don't really have anything for Mania. All right, let's put them in the tag team for right now. Let's see what they got. They did the same thing with HBK and Cena. Like, whatever, it happens. It'll work out for
God.
now. They can win the titles. Then something can happen. They could break up. They could feud again. And then Jericho can leave.
Okay, if I have to be honest, I dislike any Cena Michaels. What was the other one you
Yes,
told me? Cena Orton.
That's different than this is a little bit because they were actually feuding at the time. They didn't like, oh yeah, we respect each other. Let's be the champions now, whatever. But I agree. I don't like makeshift tag teams, but in the moment, it is fine. It's a necessity almost. You need
Do you think
to
AJ's
have
okay
them in
with-
some type of spot at WrestleMania.
Do you think AJ's okay with this?
He's still getting paid the same.
But I mean, he's so successful all over the world, and he walks in.
He wrestled in plenty of tag matches in New Japan.
All right.
Like it does. It's not a permanent thing, you know. So like, what difference does it make? Hey, you're going to be a tag team in a tag team with one of the best of all time. Oh nah, I don't think so.
I just like the idea. I mean, I
Yes, they could be doing something better, but
Yeah.
the fact that they decide to do this, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me.
all right, well, obviously, I'm vehemently opposed. We'll have to revisit this issue
See,
because
like I enjoyed the hell out of Raw because they gave me 4 or 5 WrestleMania matches or potential WrestleMania matches that I'm very excited to see. So maybe you didn't feel the same way about Raw because you didn't look at it that way. I don't know.
I mean, I was excited about Raw, and I'm always like, they're making the push, obviously, to finally show us the what their plans are and everything, and that's why having Shane there was good. And I thought top to bottom the show was good, but
Mhm.
I haven't thought about Y2AJ. Like I just didn't. That really wasn't something that I was like in my head. Then I just the Brock Ambrose match. I'm excited about it. I just don't see Ambrose pulling it out. Is the only thing. Like I'm excited about it. I just want to see how they actually book the match. I guess I'm very interested to see how they book the match, and I'm just a little hesitant to say that I think Ambrose would win, just because it seems like Brock doesn't lose. Or maybe it says I'm just angry at myself for picking Brock to get pinned at Fast Lane in the our friendly bet, and now that he didn't get pinned, I'm like, oh, he's never gonna get pinned.
Yeah, you thought he was going to get pinned in a triple threat at Fastlane, but not at WrestleMania.
Like my heart sank when Ambrose got pinned. I was like, oh.
Like, what? I don't even understand. Like that was so. The second that he was put in the match, that was why he was put in the match. Like
Speaking about good wrestling, or the opposite, what did you think of the Divas title match at Fastlane?
it wasn't bad. I thought it was good.
I just think that ending was just so odd, though, with Nikki not being able to hold the crab. Oh, sorry. They're twins. Twin magic. They just confused me in my head. Yeah, I mean, and it's also weird because the way the injury that she was selling, like, do you think that's the injury that like writes her off, like she doesn't come back?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it was that serious of an angle or anything, but I thought it was a fun ending. I didn't see any issues with it.
I thought the tag team match was better.
Yeah, the tag team match was good too.
I thought Naomi looked good. I thought that Tamina looked good, shockingly. I mean, not like exceptionally good, but
And they had me for a couple of minutes in the tag match, like when like Tamina did like rope-a-dope and ran around and slid back in, and Naomi hit her with the rear view. I was like, oh shit, like that's it, it's over.
Yeah, I thought it was it. I was really surprised.
So they did a good job. The entire Fast Lane pay-per-view was good, top to bottom. Owen Ziggler was awesome. The tag matches were fun. The Divas tag, the Divas title, 6-man was way better than I expected it to be. The triple threat was phenomenal. Like the 2 out of 3 falls was good. Everything they had on the show was solid.
God, why didn't I see Del Rio? I was so shocked when Del Rio got himself disqualified, and then I was like, oh, I should have seen that coming. I literally had like. I guess when I think of the 2 or 3 falls match, I don't consider the fact that there's a possibility that a fall's going to be DQ.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like there's so many. There are a finite number of falls, gentlemen. Like we're going to do a DQ here.
Yeah, man, get the edge.
It was smart. But I was just a little surprised by it. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about it before. Like with such a talented roster of guys and guys who love wrestling, like this is it's like can't miss, for the most part. It's all about the booking of these guys, and no matter what it is, almost these guys are making it work. So that's the key part, wherever they put Owens, he doesn't lose a step. He keeps his momentum going, and he figures out a logical way. And somebody else mentioned that, like the like Owens and Sasha and someone like Charlotte, and how like the storytelling in the ring, and it made me like really think about like, wow, everyone that they mentioned just came from NXT. And yes, I know that Kevin Owens has been doing that, like kind of crowd manipulating and storytelling forever, but it leads me to believe that NXT is teaching them the old school, like, how to get heat and how to tell stories in the ring type of whatever. They're teaching them that too, in addition to everything else, and that made me even happier about NXT. Like, oh man, like now in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, when everyone's from NXT, like this is going to be a whole new company,
That is going to be. I just that's why I'm like waiting for some of these guys to be called up. I don't know.
But I don't mind. Like, I don't mind watching them on NXT. That's the whole thing. Like, if they stay on NXT forever, like, well, okay, I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of NXT. Like, it's just another wrestling company for me to watch. It's awesome that any time they can interact with WWE.
I guess like, all right. So then, if it's on the network, like, I'd like to have more NXT.
Yeah,
like you have
give
all
me 2
this
hours.
talent. You have all this talent. And 2 hours doesn't have to be 2 hours. Although your stupid commercials and everything, it's really like an hour and something, whatever. I mean, I want to see, now they have Austin Aries down there. I want to see him, I want to see Ciampa. They're kind of building him, it seems, I want to see, obviously, Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe, and I want to see Finn Balor wrestle and, get in, where's Finn Balor? Well, I mean, I know he injured his ankle, so they kind of, had him off for a while. I just want to see more of it, and it's I think it's limited to this hour. And if you're gonna have guys down there, then I think you can mention NXT more. You know how they do the recaps, on SmackDown. Well, SmackDown goes on Thursdays. They mention what happened on NXT. If you're gonna have it, if you're gonna keep guys down there, Because now it's less of a developmental place and more of a third brand.
Well, it's still a major developmental place because that's the whole concept of it, like the performance center and all that kind of stuff. But what if, right, Shane gets control of Raw, Stephanie and Vince get control of SmackDown, and then what if something happens and Triple H is like, you know what, both of your shows suck. Mine is better than both of you. And then NXT has an invasion or something happens with NXT. Like
I want
you leave
Stephanie
the
to look
door
at
open.
Vince.
Like you leave the door open for that kind of stuff, where Triple H can run NXT and he can use that to boost up SmackDown or whatever.
You could have Stephanie use her dad's line. All right, you know what? I want a divorce.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could do anything from this Shane McMahon stuff, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I love NXT. I love what's going on there. So, like I said, certain guys stay there for a while more than they should, and then it is what it is. They're still gonna have good, entertaining wrestling, good, entertaining stories. So that's all that matters. No matter where it is.
So I guess wanna try to think about Raw.
I mean, phenomenal angle to end the show with Triple H just beating the hell out of Roman Reigns. The fake blood that we've come to find out has added a lot to the scene, to the angle. So that was cool.
So we have just full disclosure. I didn't know. I thought something was fishy because I'm watching it. And I'm sitting there going, now I didn't see anything. I didn't see any of the hands passing. I didn't see the video until later, right? All I saw was Triple H smashing his, into what I thought was pretty soft, not soft plastic, but certainly not this entire, I don't know how to put it, that lip they have on the announce table that always gets ripped off first.
Yeah.
That's never seemed to me to be like a surface that would be able to cause that sort of injury. Like I was just watching it like confused.
If you're getting your face smashed into it 30 times, it could still hurt a little bit. But
I mean, it hurt, but anything it would like break a nose, like that's whatever.
When I saw the blood, I was like, oh shit! And then like his hands, both of his palms were bright red, and I was like, what the hell? Like, how are his hands bright red? Like that doesn't make any sense. And then when Triple H was just punching him directly in the nose, I was like, okay, if his nose is broken, Triple H is not going to punch him directly in the nose. Like, you can kill him.
But it was
like that.
Broken. Right? I mean, like,
if it was actually broken, Triple H would not have been punching him in the nose. It's not really broken.
Well, no, but he actually had surgery. Like, the surgery part's real. Like his nose was actually broken. Like not that night. What I was reading was that his nose was broken beforehand, and they did that angle so just to kind of take advantage of the fact that he had to get the surgery anyway.
I didn't read anything that the surgery was real.
Yeah, I've been seeing that he legitimately had something with his nose, and they were like, "Let's take advantage of this," and
But still, it wasn't broken to the extent that it was on Raw. Like whatever. He had some minor issue, and that's different. But yes, either way, if it was really gushing blood and broken like Cena's was broken, then Triple H would not be directly punching him in that broken nose. But either way, the blood helped the angle. It put it over huge. But here's your problem. The crowd was cheering the hell out of Triple H for doing that. So what are you going to do to somehow, get your main event back on track? What the hell?
I mean, maybe if Triple H just sets fire to an American flag, or urinates on a picture of Jesus.
Yeah, what? He can't do anything more heel than he's done for the past 4 years. Like he's been the most hated guy on Raw. He's been the evil dictator almost.
I just let him be. Too far gone. I don't know. They're too far gone. But it's like something has to. I don't think people will walk out of WrestleMania happy if Roman Reigns
Well, I mean, a lot of
Some-
people will, but not a
Who?
majority. There are people who like Roman Reigns.
I mean, my wife apparently does. It was a little shocking the other day.
I mean, I like Roman Reigns.
What did
It's
she
not.
say? Well, she said she would be dumbfounded if she ran into him. So, like, if she was like at the wrestling, she would just, there's other. She's like, oh, if he walks by, I don't even know what I would do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, I just.
But
And I'm
you
like,
had the same
oh,
reaction
man.
when Colt Cabana walked by. So, like, it.
Well, that's Colt Cabana. Like, it's not Roman Reigns is no Colt Cabana. All right. I don't know. I just don't. I'm sick of watching. Like with Cena, to me, it's funny. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't. Maybe it's because he actually hated Cena, and then I grew to appreciate him more. Where with Reigns, it's like I didn't care that much either way. I'm just annoyed that that he hasn't gotten over yet. I guess this is my thing. It's just like, oh, well, it's not working, guys. Like you just had Triple H beat the pulp out of him, and everyone was cheering for that. Like I don't know. What do you can't.
There's nothing you can do because like you can't get Roman any more sympathy. Like I don't know.
Bring his daughter around and have Triple H
like
his daughter.
Like you've done so much to him already. What else can you do to the guy to make people actually care? Like it depends on where they are because certain towns are not as smart and people go crazy for Roman, and then you have smarter towns and they don't. But I don't know. We'll see what happens at WrestleMania, I guess, or what they do over the next month to try and build that sympathy because they need it in a major way.
Yeah, I can't for right now. Like, even contemplate anything that makes sense to me in terms of what they could possibly do, other than like being like ridiculously extreme and bring his daughter out. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't.
Like, we call child protective services on you. We know you're never with your daughter. Like what are they doing? I don't know. I don't know how they get him more sympathy.
I called your daughter's principal. She's getting left back.
But I mean, I really don't know, and I guess they're prepared either way to have Roman get booed out of the end of WrestleMania, or Triple H get cheered the whole way through. I guess they're prepared because they have to see that writing on the wall. Because this guy just killed your top babyface, and the people cheered. So I don't think they care because people boo the hell out of John Cena, and they never cared. So,
but I mean, like it was John Cena's different. I mean, you still
because
had
people cheered. Well, I mean, people cheered him at the beginning. People cheered Roman at the beginning. And then people turned on them once they saw that he was the chosen one. The same way they did with Cena.
I don't know if it's comparable for me.
Cena is more charismatic, so he plays off of it. Roman doesn't. Roman doesn't know how to do that yet. So that's the big difference. Cena embraces it now, or he goes with it, but that's not Roman's role yet.
But I feel like Cena was pushed to the moon. He just won everything for 4 years straight, 5 years. Like, it was just ridiculous,
Well, what are you saying is not comparable?
I guess it's because Cena held the title, and I was sick of him holding the title, where Reigns isn't even holding it.
People had already turned on Cena. Like, by the time he came to Raw, people were kind of already a little iffy on him.
I wish I could really talk to myself then and figure out how I felt about Cena at that point.
Like I get what you're saying about Cena's winning is what made you hate him more, but that's kind of the same thing with Roman. Like, it was his push to the moon that made people turn on him, and it was not his fault,
But see, it's Cena ruined life. Cena, it's like they set up Cena to. I mean, come on, he's injured. He's not going to be back at Royal Rumble.
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about how we felt about it. I'm talking about the crowd's reaction to Cena.
Okay.
And the crowd's reaction to they're both their top baby faces, and getting booed, and they never cared about Cena. They didn't ever acknowledge it until the past couple of years. You know, like it was just there.
Just imagine if Ambrose would have walked out. That would have been crazy.
I would have loved it, and they would have had a major, major, major star on their hands. But I think you're going to get the same result when he beats Brock.
But then, well, yeah, I guess then we'll see what happens going into SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, you know, WrestleMania isn't the end-all, be-all. Like, just because, let's say, Ambrose sneaks out a win, then maybe you have Ambrose and Reigns feud for the title, and they fight at SummerSlam. Then Ambrose and Brock happens again for the title. You know, I don't know. There's just so many things that can come out of this WrestleMania in particular because everything is so open, and they've actually done a good job in the past couple of months of getting these guys over and telling decent enough stories. You know, their stories have been improving. The logic has been improving. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, now our outside the WWE walls, Lucha Underground was good again, as always. You know, nothing new here.
I'm so angry we don't have El Rey on Optimum. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and at this point, I can't remember what even happened because I've watched SmackDown and
I'll probably just wait till
NXT and ROH and TNA since then. So
I think I'm just gonna try to wait till it's like over and like pull out like a binge watch of the whole season.
yeah, if you can find it, but that would probably be the best way.
You know, it's just I don't know. I mean, it seems like, you know, I watched, like I said, I watched some of it. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. It's just kind of frustrating. It's weird.
I just
like that. Rays might be leaving, like because their season's over. You know, it's already taped and everything.
Yeah,
Isn't the whole thing done? So it's just that's the only odd. Like, as much as one of the things that I think I find difficult about watching Ring of Honor is like the taping schedule, or even NXT. You know, like, and it's the internet or my inability to ignore what's going on the internet and, you know, read the results. So it's just weird to know that their thing is still going on, but this guy might be gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
How is Ray on it? I haven't seen him though.
He hasn't really been on it. He's just like been training someone and getting ready to debut, I guess.
Does he have collar contacts or is he just normal now?
I don't know, actually. I can't recall if he had colored contacts because either way, I just look past. I just see the mask.
You don't look into his eyes. Okay, all right. I look into a wrestler's eyes.
No, but yeah, he's been like training this younger guy, and whatever the war that's going on in Lucha Underground and whatever myth they're based on. So, you know, that's what he's been doing. So I'm sure he'll be there soon. But like Joey Ryan wrestled this week.
Oh, nice.
So, like, yeah, like there was like one guy who was with Chavo, and they were like, oh, like they're so crazy, like they're really thugs and blah blah. And then like the one guy's sitting in the locker room, and Joey Ryan walks up to him and he's like, hey Martinez or whatever he said. And the guy's like, oh, don't call me that. So like Joey Ryan is an undercover cop. So now that guy is an undercover cop, you know, and like he's here doing whatever works. So like I really enjoy the hell out of Lucha Underground because the stories that they're telling are so like awesome. They're just like there's no like you're supposed to believe that, you know, that Joey Ryan is a police officer and he's going undercover into the Lucha Underground to get something out, like catch somebody, you know, like there's uniqueness and, you know, coolness to that. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously very gimmicky, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, like super kayfabe in terms of like that stuff. So, but I mean, I have no problem buying into it. I mean, I bought into the Big Boss Man. Granted, it was 1991 and I was only like 9, but I legitimately believe that the Mountie spent a night in jail after losing to the Big Boss Man at SummerSlam. I was like, oh, well, it's crazy. I'm like, he's really in jail. The Boss Man brought him. I was just like, how do the cops in New York know the Boss Man? Like, there were so many questions I had as a 9-year-old about that match. So, and they're still doing a lot of intergender matches.
Yeah, that's just like a thing. I'm pretty sure this week there was a new luchadora or whatever they call her that like debuted and beat a guy.
Do you like? I just don't.
I
It's
don't
weird
mind
because
it because like it's wrestling, so I don't like a wrestling move is gonna hurt either way, and like they do a good job of like the girls aren't like power bombing the guys and beating, like they're doing like
non-lifting
spinning
move.
DDTs and like yeah, they have your moveset from video games basically.
All right, excellent. Okay. So then that's totally fine by me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't mind it because again, like, I like the difference. I like that doesn't happen anywhere else. I've never ever seen that. Basically, like ECW once or twice, but never weekly is there a woman wrestling a guy, and it's just all about you're a wrestler. It doesn't matter. So like, that's why I like Joey Ryan is a cop and. Justin Gabriel is like, the Darewolf and like a rebel, and Johnny Mundo is like a famous actor. And, I like that stuff because it allows them to play such over the top characters, and it's even more believable because there's a backstory, and like they have these cool vignettes like where Justin Gabriel is like riding his motorcycle and talking, and they just have like TV show style vignettes, and it's refreshing to see because other companies need to invest as much time in their characters as Lucha Underground does.
How much do you think they're making?
I don't know, a decent amount.
But the wrestlers themselves, I mean?
Yeah, because they said Joey Ryan didn't want to go there the first year, and then now the second year, after seeing that they were doing good business, seeing what the concept was, whatever, then they offered him a little bit more, and now he came. So it can't be like nothing. I mean, most of these guys are nobodies, they're independent wrestlers or they're Mexican guys. So like, this is their big exposure.
What was that whole thing with, and I don't think it was Lucha. Wait, Hernandez or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he went to TNA and said he wasn't under contract.
What show? He was on Lucha, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, he was on Lucha. All right. Because I wonder what happens when like someone does something weird. I wonder what they would do. Like so they have this guy signed to the roster. So say it's Joey Ryan, right? Like, let's say if Joey Ryan goes out and does something like heinous tomorrow. Like, do they release him and like delete his footage, or do they like keep him on? Like, it's so weird.
They would keep him on. Well, they would keep him on because he's a different like character. On the show. So it's not like it's Joey Ryan, the professional wrestler from California. He's, a cop from over here. So you can blur that line a little bit.
Speaking of Joey Ryan, you saw the clip of his proposal?
Yeah. Considering I sent it to you, yes.
Well, I mean, we're on a show. I was just trying to segue into bringing it up. Thanks.
Segue accomplished.
My favorite part was just, well, one, and you have to share with us about who somebody was saying it was like, saying that it was like set up or something
on ESPN. They were like, well, is this real or staged? And then they were talking about it, and like they showed it, and then like he pinned her, and they were like, well, if this was fake, y'all do know y'all have to get married now, right? What? Real or not, now y'all know y'all have to get married. And I was just like, come on. Like,
who is that, Stephen A. Smith or something?
No. There's Highly Questionable, I think it's called, with Dan LeBatard and Bomani Jones. And they were doing it. And it is a phenomenal show because Dan LeBatard's father is like this. It's like Wyo. And it's like if we had Wyo, and we were like, all right, Wyo, what do you think about this? And he's just like, oh, see, this is going to be phenomenal because of this. And it is hilarious to hear his like reactions and stuff. So that's the only reason why I ever like leave it on if I catch it. But they were asking, and I was just like, really? Like, yeah, okay, it's wrestling, so anything could be fake. But, come on, guys.
I love that roll up at the end.
Yeah, phenomenal. Like he had to pin her.
That's the only thing that makes me feel
well, first and foremost, I'm a professional, so sorry about that. Like that was just that was good stuff.
Because I feel like I would legitimately also do the same thing.
Yeah, it was genius. It was a brilliant move. Yeah, I mean, so TNA had their lockdown show this week, and that was pretty good. Some matches I cared about more than others, but top to bottom, the cage matches were pretty good, pretty cool matches. The big, I guess stories coming out was, well, big in my mind, but Grado getting unmasked, or Odarg the Great getting unmasked as Grado. So,
I was shocked. I didn't know it was the same person.
We'll see if he comes back or if now he's actually just done because, they're not in England anymore. And so who knows? But either way, it was an enjoyable match and an enjoyable little angle because Grado is pretty funny to me.
I actually like him. I just wonder, so what happens now that, he got fired, right? Contract.
Yeah, and now he got caught, and that's what I was saying. Like, now that they're not in England anymore, I don't know what happens. But I think he's a valuable asset for them, just comedy wise. He's funny.
Is he actually signed to TNA, or is he just hanging out with them?
I believe he was signed because I'm pretty sure he was signed. But that could have been a year ago, and his contract is up, or that could have been 6 months ago, or either way.
Okay, fair.
But I'm pretty sure he was, because I started first hearing about him with Cole Cabana and all that, and so I paid attention at certain points to him, So I was excited when he got signed to TNA, but he's not that type of a wrestler, so he's never going to be anything big. But he's funny, man. He's enjoyable to watch.
And then Spud,
clearly Rockstar Spud turning on EC3
jerk
was pretty great. Yeah, I read about that a while ago, so I was waiting for it, but it was enjoyable to watch. I liked the promo that they did beforehand, where then EC3 apologized, and they're doing a good job of getting EC3 sympathy and making people care about EC3.
Can't believe he was in. It's just so weird that he was in WWE.
Yep, and that's who. You remember Maxine?
Maxine?
She was on NXT. She was Derek Bateman's crush.
Oh yeah.
All right, so she is Katrina. She is the person in charge of Lucha Underground right now.
Oh.
Which on another thing on Lucha Underground, Pentagon was saying he wanted a match with Prince Puma, and then she was like, or what? And he grabbed her in the where he was supposed to break her arm, and he was like, "Oh, I'll break your arm." And she turned into black smoke and was like, "No, you will not."
What?
Yeah, so she's got some type of power,
Oh, I didn't know they did stuff like that.
Yeah. So, again, the coolness of Lucha Underground, that you can do stuff like that.
Would anyone really buy a supernatural wrestler? Come on, that's ridiculous.
It's just a TV show, man.
Well, no, I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Yeah. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, Finn Balor, right? Ish, the demon.
It's so amazing. So Ring of Honor has been a little. I'm sorry, were you done with TNA?
Yeah, that was it. But yeah, I watched Ring of Honor this week solely to see the Titantron. I like the new entranceway.
Oh yeah, their production value,
which is pretty dope, man. Really dope. That Titantron and all those videos going like that. That was cool stuff. I like that. Definitely makes them feel more major league.
It's funny that you would watch the first episode that I was really not into for months.
Yeah, well, see, I had it on while I was doing something else, and I didn't pay attention because I watched some of it, but some of the stuff I was just like, okay, well, I know where this is going, or, I don't care about this guy. So it was a lot of Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, and some of that was okay, but, Bobby Fish is not our cup of tea. And the fact that I know Ishii is the champion and he was not there kind of is just like, okay, whatever.
I do like I liked Adam Cole's
yes,
his promo. I really think that he can come away. I mean, so since we last taped,
He's winning.
There was Honor Rising, and then at Honor Rising, Ishii beat Strong for the television title, which then threw that kind of match into a little bit of a, it was
a strange spiral.
It was
really, really strange.
Just unclear what's going to happen. So then now they're going to have a triple threat match to resolve it.
Yep. Did you not want to have Fish beat Roddy, or now you have 2 triple threat matches for your 2 titles? That's really weird.
And that's what it almost frightens me. I just don't know. I think Adam Cole has to walk out with the title.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
But Truth, I'm not going to lie, the ending his promo just like the house always wins. That is, I mean, they're in Vegas and he's saying the house always wins. That's just
good storytelling.
Just want to hang out with Truth Martini.
Mm-hmm.
We were going down the road. His voice is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward really to. I think I was saying this earlier off air, but basically for tonight, I'm kind of into the title matches.
Well, for Friday night, not.
Yeah, tonight's Friday. Sorry, tonight's Friday. So then, as you guys are listening to this, I'll be very excited. I'll be a little bit probably more excited about some of the tapings going on, because then we get back to people that we know are going to be around more. Like Elgin signed with New Japan last week after Honor Rising that kind of came out, and now he's going to be teaming with Tanahashi to take on the Briscoes. So you know that's going to be a fun match, but then it's going to be, a little bit of nothing. You have Alex Shelley versus Daniels, which I think is weird because at the end of the show that they aired this week, It seemed like Sabin kind of felt bad for Shelley.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely where they're going, because the whole thing has been like they don't want to hit each other or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
you have Adam Page versus BJ Whitmer.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
I'm excited about it. I don't know why, but okay. I think it's because I legitimately don't like BJ Whitmer.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting him to get his ass kicked for so long, but because of his injury, they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that now I'm like, I can't. And then I watch this weekend, he's in a match for 50 seconds where he destroys the guy, and I'm like, no. So I actually want to see BJ Whitmer lose.
Yeah, and I've always kind of liked Adam Page. He was just kind of stuck in this group that I didn't care about. So,
yeah.
At first the decade was awesome with Jimmy Jacobs and Roderick Strong, and it was a cool concept. And then once Jimmy Jacobs left and Roderick Strong left the group, then it was kind of like, okay, well, now you're not the decade anymore, or you're just an old guy with 2 guys with him, but whatever. It should be a good match. It should be a good pay-per-view, ROH is never going to put on a bad show. All those guys are going to tear it down. Okada is wrestling tonight, or
yeah, it's Okada versus Moose.
Ugh, really?
Moose.
What a waste of Moose. Or what a waste of Okada.
Moose. I don't know. Well, I guess you're right. But
I'm really excited for War Machine and my boys, the All Night Express.
I think that's a mirror. I mean, I hope All Night Express. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Go ahead.
I don't like.
You ain't running with us. You're running from us.
I don't like War Machine.
I actually do really like War Machine, though. They're just so awesome looking.
Yeah, but
it's so good in ROH because ROH doesn't have those guys. They should be the tag team champions forever, But I think they could lose here tonight.
Who was tag team? Now I'm forgetting. Who were the tag team champions before War Machine? It was
Kaz and Daniels.
See, and I really liked them so much that I think I was upset that War Machine took the belts.
Yeah, and it was quick too, that match. Like somebody, or maybe it wasn't Kaz and Daniels.
Maybe, no, was it part of a triple threat? I feel like they just randomly.
I thought somebody got hurt in the middle of the match and it ended real quick or something. I can't remember now.
Taven.
There you go.
Taven
and Bennett. There you go. That's who they won it from. But I'm also looking forward to the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Oh yes,
versus Kushida, ACH, and Seidel. That should be pretty good. Did you see their new shirt, the Elite?
No. Wait, I think it just says Elite. Or
no. It's the New Day shirt, but it's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks riding on a buck with like money falling, and oh man, it's great.
Did you hear that they said that like Kenny Omega like put a challenge out to New Day or something?
Well, like Xavier Woods said something about him on the Up Up Down Down, and he said, "Oh, Xavier Woods, you want to call me out on Up Up Down Down or on your video game show?" And blah blah blah. He said whatever, and now like they've been going back and forth. You know, like he wore the New Day shirt to the ring, and so. But this, I mentioned this before. I was listening to Talk Is Jericho with the Young Bucks, and Jericho asked them, you know, would you ever? Is there a future in WWE? You know, what do you think? And they laughed and they said, you know, I think that if we didn't sign a contract 3 months ago, that there's a very good chance we would have been walking in the doors right now. And I was just like, wow, because that changes the game. That changes everything, you know? Like the fact that they acknowledged that probably most likely they would be coming over here with Nakamura, Gunn, and Gallows, you know, that's kind of crazy because now that leaves the door open for a year or 2 years for them to come in.
Did you hear that there's a possibility? I heard something about like Balor saying like bulletproof.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't bother me.
Well, he said bulletproof BC.
Yeah, so they just keep, but you know, he's just adding the BC to the end, you know.
Yeah,
but they're the bulletproof Bullet Club, whatever.
Yeah, or bulletproof Balor Club, whatever they want to do. But I don't know. I don't know what if? Who is he facing? Joe, right? Or yeah. So let's say he's facing Samoa Joe at Dallas, and like Gunn and Gallows run in, and you're like, yes, Bullet Club, and then they join Samoa Joe, and they're heels, and they cost Finn back. Like, you know, I think that's a better debut because I feel like they need to be booed. You know, you have American Alpha. It looks like Enzo and Cass are going to be your next champions because Dash and Dawson jumping them, and they are still going back and forth. So this has to be the time that Enzo and Cass actually get these titles in Dallas. And yeah, I mean, what if, you know, that happens? What if they come out and they're heels?
Wow, that would be
that NXT show in Dallas is going to be outrageous. My God.
But stupid question of the week. Really, what happens to the Young Bucks? Can they always be the Young Bucks?
Yes, they address this always. They address this on the Colt Cabana and like Jericho. Like, you know, they're just the Young Bucks. Like they said actually that they were wrestling. I forget what their singles names were, and some guy booked them, and they went to look at the list. And it said the Young Bucks versus these, and they were like, "What the fuck? Like, that's not our name. Like that's such a terrible name." And then they kept going back there and getting booked as the Young Bucks, and then other people picked them up as the Young Bucks, and they were just like, "All right, well, I guess screw it. I guess we're just gonna go with it." But yeah, I mean, definitely listen to that podcast because it was really good. Jericho was really good with them, and like it was really, really, really cool because Jericho is talking to them about wrestling in Japan. You know, and like that was just really cool because they would say something, he would be like, yeah, or like this bar, or then you go here and everything is closed. And it was really cool to hear, you know, like their stories, even though 20 years apart, were basically still the same kind of thing, you know, and like Jericho knows the New Japan guys. So it was cool. And like Jericho talked about Dalton Castle and how he's a big fan of his.
Oh, nice.
So it was really a good podcast. It was the first Jericho one I think I've ever listened to, but yeah, it was good.
Come on, baby. All right, so we have 3 trivia questions this week. We were a little backed up. So we have one from Adam. And this one is, who was the first superstar to have lost their WrestleMania title match after winning the Royal Rumble? So it's got to be
Shawn Michaels.
Having the first superstar to lost their Royal WrestleMania title match after winning the Rumble.
I'm pretty sure I just watched that WrestleMania 11.
Oh, that's right.
WrestleMania 9 was Yokozuna, right? He won it, and then he beat Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he lost his title, but not after. Like, he won that
Mhm.
match. 8 was Flair won it and then lost,
Yeah.
but he didn't win, like, a Mania match.
Yeah,
he won the
he
title.
won the title. Yeah.
So, 11 would be the first one. And that's HBK losing to Diesel.
I think that's 100% right. I'm not even going to look it up. Like the logic behind it all works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're right on that one. So go ahead.
All right.
Thank you, Adam. Do you know this, Adam?
Yes.
Okay.
Although we have two that I don't know.
Really?
We have Bill from White Plains.
Really?
And this one says, who is the first Grand Slam champion in WWE history? So this is a tough one.
Also, again, Shawn Michaels?
I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure when he won
No, it's Bret Hart. If you're going like original, it was...
What's the fourth title?
Bret had the IC.
The tag team and the world.
Oh, because...
Shawn Michaels had the European.
So Grand Slam is literally 4. All right. Jesus Christ, you're on a freaking roll.
Well, I mean, it was the same answer for both questions, I'm pretty sure. But hold on. That one I will look up. Even though it's not going to be easy. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. There you go. Shawn Michaels did it first, way back in 1997. Because he won the European Championship. Thank you.
Jesus. He has a second question.
Nice.
This one I don't even... Who was AJ Styles' WCW tag team partner?
Oh, my God.
Fuck, there's no way. I'm not even going to... Like, I don't remember AJ Styles in WCW.
He was there in the late, at the end, like in 2000s. So, like, that was a really, really, really random group of guys.
So that could have been like Mark Jindrak or something.
Yeah, like
Sean
O'Hare, or there was... Who was the guy who was in charge of it? Actually, we might be wrong on the Royal Rumble, because Lex Luger lost at 1994.
That was weird because remember Luger and like Brett both won at the same time, and then Luger lost to... They were like the 2 matches. Like, does that count? Because Brett technically won and then won.
Whatever. We'll go with Shawn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
like
yeah,
Shawn won.
Okay.
I mean, he won and then won.
That's true. All right. So yeah. Anyway, AJ Styles. I don't even know if I can like begin to guess. I'm gonna go with Sean Stasiak.
All right. Let me see. I'm gonna look for his WCW stuff. Early years, right? I mean, when was he even there? You said he was in like the late 2000s.
Oh no. Yeah.
Wait, he was Style Paris? Someone named Paris?
Yeah, I see.
Air Raid. Their tag team was Air Raid. Air Raid. I mean, who's it? Frank Paris. His name was Air Paris. I swear to God, bro.
Yeah, Atlanta-based WCW had observed. Oh no, wait. Yeah.
Air Paris, man. And then he teamed with Styles, and they were Air Styles.
Yeah, known as Air Raid.
Or Air Raid.
Dress in G suits.
Like diving suits.
Paris. Kid Ego. Oh, so that's not even fair because he was nobody. He was there. He was in WCW for like 2 months, and like that was it. All right.
That was a tough one.
One fair question and one good question.
And Jerry with no.
So these are 2 real, actual listeners of the show. No gimmicks, no people.
No gimmicks.
This is phenomenal. Thank you, Bill and Jerry. Greatly appreciated.
Jerry's from... He doesn't have anywhere. But it says, which Royal Rumble do you guys...
Jerry is from Parts Unknown.
That's excellent.
Okay. So Jerry from Parts Unknown.
He said, which Royal Rumble do you guys think is the best Royal Rumble Final 4? So this is more of like a...
Ooh.
He says
Go ahead.
He says his is 92. So you had that was
That's Sid, Hogan,
Flair, and God damn it,
Savage? Not Savage.
No.
Maybe like HBK was in there or something.
It was somebody.
Bob Backlund.
God, who was the Final Four of '92? I'll just Google because this is not a trivia question, so I don't know why I'm making myself go crazy.
I also liked, what is it, 2001, when it's Kane, Angle, Triple H, and Mr. Perfect. I just enjoyed that like Rumble.
Let's see. I mean, God, the one that Cena won that we were at 2008. The last four were really good, wasn't it? It was Triple H, Cena, like Edge. No, I'm wrong about Edge. So Sid Justice. I think Rick Martel was one of the last four. Yeah. Wait.
Here, I found something that says, can you name the final four participants in each Royal Rumble match? And I gave up, and now I have the list of every final four. This is pretty remarkable.
Awesome.
Oh, see, so it was, you nut freak. It was Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Sid Justice, and Ric Flair. So yes, I mean, that is hands down probably the best, but I will continue to go through. The Undertaker, Fake Diesel, Bret Hart, and Stone Cold. So there in 97, you have The Undertaker, Kane, Bret Hart, and Stone Cold, technically. 1998, Dude Love, Farouk, The Rock, and Stone Cold, Jesus. D'Lo, The Big Boss Man, Vincent Stone Cold, holy jeez.
Well, that's 99, right?
Yeah, Kane, yeah. X-Pac, Big Show, and The Rock.
Oh.
02 was Stone Cold, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Angle, and Triple H. That's one of the ones that I really enjoyed. Ooh, 2003, Batista, Kane, Taker, and Brock.
That's crazy.
Oh, here you go. 2007, Randy Orton, Edge, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker.
That's insane.
Shawn Michaels, Batista, John Cena, Edge.
Which one was that?
2010. Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, Santino Marella, and Alberto Del Rio.
You know what? I'm actually going with that one because for half a second I thought that I was like, wait, what if Santino wins?
I have a good question for you. Well, now that I read everyone's names, I wonder who has been in the Final Four the most.
Shawn Michaels.
Well, Hulk Hogan has 3. 2, 3, 4. 4 for this unnamed person right now. 1, 2. 3, 4. Yeah, HBK has been in the most with 5, but a surprising second contender.
Kane?
No. Well, maybe Kane. Kane is 1, 2. No, not even 3. Not even 4, 5. Kane also has 5. But Sheamus has 4.
I just took a big sip of water, and it's a word computer, and I had to turn all the way.
The visual was pretty remarkable. Sheamus was in the Final Four in 2016, 2014, 2013, and 2012. Wow. 12, 13, 14, he was in the Final Four. That's pretty crazy. That's a cool thing. Cool little stat.
Very well. Thanks for all the questions this week, guys.
Yeah.
Did you got anything else? I think I'm going to get locked into the building, by the way, if I don't leave soon.
I'm
legitimately still in my classroom. All right. Well, then, I just want to remind you guys that you've been listening to – well, I'm jumping ahead. So, first of all, you guys have been listening to us on the thanks.lastwordonsports.com. Go over there, check out any of their sports departments, especially the wrestling department. You can take a look at some of my articles over there. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher and Spreaker, I think it is also. You can find us under our own channel, which is just Running Wild Podcast. You can follow us on the Last Word on Sports channel. You can follow us also on the W2M Network, which is Wrestling to the Max. You can find them on Facebook. You can send us emails, which you guys have been sending, which is great, to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also tweet us at runningwildlwos. And a reminder that you guys have been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.